Peterson is back in the news. Why is this malignant narcissist back in the news? I'm going to be explaining it all to you and also giving you some perspective around it and teaching you some really, really important things about it in this video. So make sure you stay tuned and watch all the way to the end. Hey there, I'm Rebecca Zung. I am a lawyer and a narcissist negotiation expert. And in this channel and on these videos, I teach you all things about narcissism, about negotiation. If that sounds good to you and you want to shift the dynamic and become more powerful against narcissists, I invite you to subscribe to this channel and hit that notification bell. Okay, so I saw that Scott Peterson is back in the news. It's been 27 years or something like that. It's crazy since he murdered his pregnant wife because he just really wanted to be with his new girlfriend and he didn't want to look bad. He didn't want to look like he didn't want to be with his pregnant wife. So what did he do? He staged her murder because he didn't want to leave her and be with his new girlfriend. That's the length that he went to be with this girlfriend. Total malignant narcissist. And if you want to know more about a malignant narcissist, you can definitely check out more about this type, the scariest narcissist, in my video on this topic. It's called The Scariest Narcissist, but basically a narcissist with an overlay of being a total sociopath. You know, they just absolutely will do whatever they need to ruin somebody's life, including murder, which is what he did. So he had gotten the death penalty and then a couple of years ago got the death penalty overturned on a technicality. Technicality was that his trial was flawed for multiple reasons, including that there were significant errors in the jury selection, and meaning that the jury was not impartial, that when they were impaneled, that they weren't properly asked questions about their feelings on the death penalty. And I want to go into that further here so that you guys can understand that. And I also want to talk about relationships and malignant narcissism so that you guys can also be aware of what's going on in these situations and how to negotiate that and what to do with that. So that when you're in a situation like that, you know what to do. Okay, so I'm going to give you some kernels on what to do when you're in a situation with that. And I want to give you some ideas on what voir dire is when you're dealing with what they're actually talking about with this jury selection issue and why this was coming back up in this situation. So number one, if you are dealing with a malignant narcissist, I would like for you to figure out how to get out of this situation by calling a domestic violence hotline, by creating a plan, by creating an exit strategy. Don't just try to leave without having a plan first, because then if you have to end up going back, it will definitely be worse for you. You know, there will be retribution. And, you know, these people have no problem trying to ruin your life. So, you know, make sure that you have, you know, a stash of cash, you have a place to go, you have a safe place to land, have a support system, family, friends, a counselor, some kind of shelter to go to, domestic violence shelter if you need to, something like that. I mean, clearly you don't want to end up like Lacey and Connor Peterson. You know, this was a horrible, horrible situation. I see it was 2002. So it was 19 years ago that this happened. Okay. So what happened with the voir dire? And by the way, I want you guys to understand that sometimes in some situations, as far as, you know, I want you to go back to my SLAY strategy, leverage, anticipating, and focus on you. And so sometimes when you are negotiating with narcissists, you can potentially, depending on your situation, depending on your state, depending on your country, depending on your jurisdiction, you could potentially layer on some sort of additional actions on your case to add leverage. And you could potentially even have a jury part of your case, depending on where it is that you are. You could have a tort case, you could have a civil case, could even potentially have a criminal action as part of your case, depending on what's going on in your particular situation. And if that is the case, there could be a voir dire part of your action. And if that is the case, then that means that you are impaneling a jury. In this particular case, in the Laci Peterson action, what Scott Peterson's lawyers were arguing is that the lawyers did not properly ask the questions of the jurors during the voir dire phase, which is that phase where they're asking the questions of the jurors to find out what their biases were on certain positions, such as the death penalty. You do get certain chances to just preemptorily just say, I don't want this particular juror. You get a certain number of chances to just say, I don't want this person. So I guess that's what they did. And so in this particular action, now he no longer has the death penalty. He just has life in prison. So, I mean, I guess for him, that's a win. I don't know. I mean, so instead of getting the death penalty and at some point, now he's no longer going to be put to death. He gets to sit there for the rest of his life and he'll die a natural death. And he gets to sit there and think about what he did to his wife and his unborn son for the rest of his life. So there's that. I mean, in some ways, I think that's, better punishment for him because he gets to sit there and think about that. But, maybe he doesn't care because, as a malignant narcissist, he really hasn't expressed much remorse. I mean, I guess he said he was sorry and he expressed remorse this time. Her mother was there and expressed her sadness and grief, and her sister was there and expressed some heart-wrenching testimony as well, and how sad and how awful it's been for them, the family. Obviously they can't bring Laci and Connor back. Anyway, that's what is going on with him and why this is all coming back up again. But I thought that it would be interesting for you guys to understand the process of voir dire, the process of how you could potentially layer on some actions for you for creating some leverage, how that could help you in some of your strategy as well. And also understanding what a malignant narcissist can be also. So that's what is going on with Scott Peterson and why this malignant narcissist is back in the news. And by the way, why is he doing this? Narcissists like to get attention for themselves, right? The almighty narcissistic supply. So there he is getting attention for himself once again. So there you have it. And I would love to know what your thoughts are. So if you guys have any thoughts on this, go ahead and put them in the comments below. I would love to know what you think about him, his thoughts. And if you like this video, give it a like, give it a share. And by the way, if you are getting ready to negotiate at all, go ahead and grab my free Crush My Negotiation prep worksheet at winmynegotiation.com. You can go ahead and grab it. It's a free ebook, 15 pages. I've had people win their entire negotiations on it. Just go ahead and grab it at winmynegotiation.com. And if you are dealing with a narcissist at all, don't sit on an island alone. Go ahead and join my free private Facebook group at Narcissist Negotiators with Rebecca Zung. And make sure you subscribe to this channel. Subscribe, hit that notification bell because I upload new videos every single day. And I'm Rebecca Zung. I'm so glad that you're here and part of our community. And remember that today is a great day to start negotiating your best life. And I will definitely see you in the next video.